born by force, and you're going to be kept and used by force. You're not gonna like it a fucking thing.
Yeah, it's the last of the subway surface. In my bag on this wax show with dub plate murder shifty. Gotta take them off of there, yeah. Drippy low grizzly, that's a heavy cross to bear. Survive through my pain, won't explain my youth. I was high in the club, cutting cane like Q. Homie, we got it if you need it. Scope on the two creeping, we can have a Zoom meeting. Yeah, transgressing through a pandemic. Yeah, fast lessons and they clandestine. Yeah, it's overstuffed if you over tough. Massive gloves for I knew what COVID was. Yeah, greet the bozos with a shoulder bump. I'm rolling bud, on rolling bud, you know what's up. I'm professional, get a job, then come to me. I'm Loretto, I spin the block for something sweet.
What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of What Words Are Worth. And today I got a Brooklyn legend, and he's one of those artists that's been through it all. Battle scene, rapping scene, that's in ciphers outside all night rapping, open mics, in the business of hip hop, writing songs, understands record deals, anything that deals with music, hip hop, and the industry, and just writing and putting together some tight bars, he knows about it. His name is Poison Pen. So we're going to catch up with Poison Pen from the Stronghold Collective. I mean, through the 90s, Poison Pen was definitely a staple in New York, representing Brooklyn and making sure that you understood what lyrics are and understood what lyrics are about. That integrity in the bars with Poison Pen. Let's go.
Yo, Words, what up, my brother?
Yo, I want to say
for decades, my guy, man. What's up, man?
Yo, I always like to speak on my gratitude for you and my friends and all of us coming up and us still being here and putting in work, and like it's always been dope to see you still involved and everywhere, you know what I'm saying? Like always, you know, whether I'm watching KOTD, watching you with your Battle League, and watching you just always staying involved. So I just appreciate your contribution to the culture. And it's hard for people to maintain being in here and finding their way. So I always respected the fact that you found a way that I could always point at TV and say, yo, there go Pen right there. There go Pen right there. So I appreciate your contribution to the game, man.
I don't know, bro. You know, we can't stop, man. We hit the ground running. We from the era where we had to stay active, you know what I mean? Pre-social media, all that. We just had to keep doing what we were doing in the biggest, most grandiose way, and just nonstop. So that's just the aesthetic that I kept, you know, since. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So this show, man, is about writing. That's what this whole show is about, man. It's about writing, producers. I done have some of our friends on here already, man, and it's been dope just like kind of learning the secrets to it. Like for instance, like I feel like you don't get your just due with the writing and rhyming. You know, I just heard a verse that you did on the Queen Heroine project. Yo.
Oh, I'm a little overzealous when them hitters go and set it, and they send it for the yeah. That was all. That was all.
Yo,
the bottom of the sea. Come on, man. I'll be swimming, but I'll be swimming.
Yo, I know. You know, I hadn't heard you in a minute, so I'm hearing joints from the album. And I said, I text back, yo, Ping going kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Got to, man. I gotta swim with sharks every day, man. It don't matter, you know. So I gotta be ready, you know. Old nigga, new nigga, young nigga, old nigga, older nigga, whatever. I'm here for all smoke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. So we're gonna delve into all this, man. So let me just start with the origin of the name, right? Poison Pen. Where'd you get that from?
It's funny, man. I get asked that question wild times. Because to be fair, we come from the era like when we was outside just in these ciphers in the street, whatever have you. First of all, I didn't realize that, you know, just the art of rhyming was gonna be something that was gonna be with me for like my entire life. Like, who knew that? but it was the way we expressed ourselves. It was just our way of life at the time, the hip hop life.
Right.
And so when I used to rhyme and shit, you know, whatever, people used to be like, "Oh, yo, what's your name? What's your name?" I didn't have a name. You know what I mean? And my name starts with an L. You know what I'm saying? So you know, from that, so it was just yo L. Couldn't be Big L. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't be, you know, yo L Boogie. Like couldn't be an L Boogie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I couldn't be Lay. There was a young Lay from out west. You know, so we from the era where shit got to be original. So everything at the time when I was thinking of this is like high school still. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have a name, so I had to think of a name. I'm like, I need a name, because everybody's like, what's your name? I'm like, L. I'm like, okay, well, I can't be Big L. I can't be this, that, anything with the L. So I was always like wondering, yo, what could I utilize as a nom de plume, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And one day I was reading the newspaper, the Daily News and shit. And there was an article about, I can't remember what the article was about, someone harassing someone or something of that ilk, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was just like da poison pen, and it was like poison pen and like in the headline. I'm like, poison pen. I'm like, yo, that shit is kind of interesting, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And and also, you know, MCs be big off alliterations and things of that nature too.
Right.
That's some weird shit that almost all rappers like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, poison
the
pen. I'm
peas,
like,
the peas to going together and all that. Yeah.
yeah. So I was like, yo, that shit kind of makes sense, you know, poison pen. And you know, I knew that nobody at the time, you know, had anything remotely close to that name. And then I was also like, wow, yeah, I was like, okay, I like the name. And then I also, yeah, I just knew nobody was going to use that name. And I knew nobody was using it at the time. And I was also, at the time, I was heavily, you know, we from them ciphers. So I was heavily on my punchlines at the time. Like, that's pretty much, we were just punchline rapper.
Yeah.
And I mean, I still utilize punchlines, but I mean, that was pretty much all we did at the time. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
right. That's what we
Like,
did.
to me, it's like, to do punchline bars and shit, like Poison Pen, that name just suited perfectly. And I was like,
Right.
Poison Pen, like, yeah, because so I took the name and I just started hitting the street, you know what I mean? It was Poison Pen. I remember the first time I told my mans what I was gonna be known as, and this nigga started laughing at me so hard. Like, oh, that shit whack. And it's funny because it was motivation to me, like, word, like words like that, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, I'm gonna show you. And you know, and I kind of feel like a lot of people work to make their name stronger than what people may have initially thought. Like, I think like when Snoop came out, maybe in the hood on some gangster shit, they like that, you know, that name is something different in Long Beach or whatever have you. But to the average person, it was like Snoop Doggy Dogg. Motherfuckers is like, what's a Snoop? You know, respect, Snoop is a legend. But what I'm saying is, the first time you heard that name, it was like Snoop Doggy Dogg. Like, what? But he made it where that name was like, oh nah, that name is respected. Snoop, even though it's just Snoop Dogg now. But you know what I'm saying? But I feel that Snoop put in that work to make that name respected. If it was just that name without nothing else, you might have looked at it differently. So I look at Poison Pen the same way.
I mean, it's not even crazy. You think about today, a name could be a sentence. Who's Daniel?
Word.
You know, it's like a whole sentence. Jumping off the building. You'd be like, yo, what? You know what I'm saying? A whole name. So it's never really just the name. It's what you make with the name. You know what I'm saying? So what you have in that name today, how are you crafting the bars? Are you using paper, pen, computer, phone? You write in your head? How do you do that?
Mostly, I mean, we all do honestly, the answer is yes to all of that.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
The paper, yes, the pen, yes, the computer, yes, the phone, yes, in your head, because you know, like I know with lyricists, like sometimes things just, and you got to capture however you capture it. I mean, what I utilize the most at this moment in time is my phone. Obviously, I mean, everybody's got their phone in their hand like 80% of the time anyway. Right. So I use the phone most of the time. I got good old Evernote that's been holding me down for for a few years. So Evernote been holding me down hard body. But I still like I be around, like I still see in the crib rhymes scribbled on napkins. Like I wrote, you know, I mean one time I was out on the road and I started, you know, shit was coming to my head and I wanted to capture it. And this is a while ago when we was on a good run. So I had fucking money, I had bread in my pocket, so I pulled out, I had a marker because we was signing autographs, and I had $100 bill, and I wrote the fucking verse on the fucking $100 bill. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, however you gotta capture it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, mostly now it's definitely the Evernote. I still haven't I respect the MCs that I still don't do whole verse. I mean, I could do a whole verse in my head. I mean, we've been doing this for years, but I don't prefer that. You know what I mean? Still like, whereas before we used to well, I know you still freestyle. You know, I don't freestyle as a fraction of what we used to do. So I don't like, you know, so most of the time, like my thoughts is just, you know, what I wrote down. But yeah, but there's times, you know, I have like I have like a little 8 already committed to memory that has been going back and forth and just but yeah, so every format that you say here, the paper, pen, computer, like I've used all of them, but most of the time now I use Evernote on my phone.
And then what do you prefer? Like you prefer writing or you know, like writing to beats, you know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm
100%.
saying?
Before you even finish the question, the beat, I mean, of course we always have ideas that we just don't run around in our head. That's just how we work. You know what I mean? There's always something in your mind. But when it comes to like me really trying to make something happen, like the beat is what gives me the direction to write what I'm writing. The beat is what gives me the direction. Like there was artists like a Tupac, rest in peace to Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Like from what I was told, I mean I wasn't like this when we was young, but like I was told that he just wrote. But which is why he had a million albums, because you know the style that he had, you could just write rhymes with no beat and just put it to whatever beat that comes in. The beat tells me where to go with it. So it's like the you know, I don't it's to me it's like working backwards, you know. I mean it depends what you do it for, but like if I'm doing it for the sake of like, you know, smoking something, you know what I mean, I'm trying to kill this, like the beat is what gives me all the direction. You know what I mean? I may have things that was like, you know, I may have been toying around with the thoughts and things that I was toying around with.
Right.
But the beat is what's going to tell me where to go with it. It's going to help. It's going to tell me what cadence to spit. What, you know what I mean? It's going to, the beat drives me to all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely prefer writing to a beat as opposed to just writing. Even though there's times I do have like fleeting thoughts where I do write just as well, but I prefer to write to a beat.
So I got a question, because this is one thing that I think you don't probably get enough props for too, is not only the writing style, but how you sound on a record, right? Like when you come in on a record, you have a presence of like, first one, you got a great voice coming on when you come on, but you come in styling on people, you know what I'm saying?
Good looking.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't come in regular, like, you know, just basic, like, yeah, today we rhyming on that. You come in like, and I know, like you come in like style and like, and it's like, who this? You know, like you can change the dynamic of a record, man. Hearing you rhyme. I was listening to more stuff today. I was listening, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, when Penn come on, everybody sounds like they're probably just doing the typical style compared to when he come on, because he coming in with a flavor, style, and even the way you may say words and stuff like that. So how do I guess learn to develop that style? I've always known you to come into ciphers like that though. Like when you came into cipher, you movement, everything. You came in everything.
You got to utilize all your attributes. You know what I'm saying? It is more than just the words. People don't realize that. It's more than just, I mean, the words is obviously the meat and potatoes, but it's more than that, bro. Like it's how you say things, it's the way you move, it's the way you catch your breath to let the people feel that last line. It's all of that. And honestly, like my boisterous approach comes from our interactions and me having to stand out amongst 30 niggas on the corner.
Yeah.
You understand? So if you're from there, so you understand that. The average person that wasn't from there don't get it. but that's where my shit comes from. I gotta stand out. I gotta bump niggas out my way. I gotta step in. I gotta say something off kilter to captivate people's attention. And I just gotta, and then on top of that, just being from Brooklyn, being from the style, like we got a different lingo. We got a different way we gonna say certain things. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I use all that. I put all of that together. And plus, you know, I enjoy reading. I like vocabulary. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I like, my thing is, you gonna say something this way, I'm gonna say something this way, and I bet you we can have the exact same message, but people probably gonna remember how I convey it more than the average person.
Yeah, and that's what when I was listening to the records today, that's what I was noticing, and I was like, it's funny because sometimes as an artist such as yourself, it's just because it's you. Normally, that's what you do automatically. I was like, man, ask Penn, does he know when he's coming on the track that he's making things kind of shift and fit his style intentionally? Yeah. Because some people really don't. That's just them, right? They come on, they know that's them. So I wanted to know, was it definitely like methodical of you to say, but I heard your answer as far as saying it, so I wanted to know what that was like, especially us coming out rhyming outside. When you said it was 30 people outside, that's no exaggeration, y'all. Like we're not walking up into no ciphers today. Like today, I don't know the last time I seen a group outside.
Next time you would have chat, there's a legendary ciphers up in Union Square. Every Friday there's actually a big ass cipher. It's way more organized than how we just had them spontaneous pop-up situations. But Legendary Ciphers, that's the only place I know that has a regular cipher. And it's been thriving for a while. My man Majesty from the Bronx, EOW, all that, rest in peace, he founded it a few years back. So there's one place you can go. So when you come back to the town, Legendary Ciphers on Fridays. You gotta check them out.
Okay, dope, man. I'll actually me and you got a show together coming up. So we August 17th, I'll be out there in Jersey.
My brother, hell yeah.
Hey, man. Yes, so I'm glad doing this and then get to see you then. So what's it like for you as far as your atmosphere creating? Is it nighttime, daytime? You need a lot going on, people around, nobody? What do you need to create?
Honestly, it varies. It varies. I come from chaos, so I normally have a lot of things going on at one time. But it's funny, but now that I'm older, though, I do spend a lot more time dolo, just out the way. So I find a way, either way. But when it comes to art, it varies. I don't have that one set, structure. But to be fair, like if we cooking how we cook, you know what I'm saying? It would behoove us to be someplace where I could, bang this shit as loud as possible. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I want to sit with this music seeping through my soul for a little while so I can just, and then let it do what it does, you know what I'm saying? So, but then there's also times where I could just, I'll just have a thought and just be like, oh, let me just, ain't nothing going on. And this may be the time I don't even have a beat on it. Be like, oh, but I have a fleeting thought or something or a concept or something like, oh, so let me write this down right quick. And then I'll just go. So, but normally there's a few things going on, man. We from a chaotic environment. So, what did Keith Murray say back in the day on that song?
Oh, yeah. I need a beer and rap the atmosphere to even think clear.
To even think clear. When he said that shit, I was like, yo, bro, like, how did you know? So yeah, I feel like that.
So, because now that we're older, how difficult was it for you to kind of like find that? Because I'm in that same vibe of like, I'm chilling. Like, so we have to kind of just tap into it. I feel like instinctually, because Penn, it's a business for us too now. We can't really be like, what we gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
And when it's a business, sometimes you gotta do it when you don't want to do it, because even though it's the love is first and foremost, but it is a business. So sometimes you gotta that beat that motherfucker sent you might not be as fire as you would prefer it to be. But you have a directive to fulfill, an objective, and you like, all right, I got you. So so you still gotta compromise a little bit, but yeah, man, it's just like that, man. You gotta look within and find it somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
And I was gonna ask you about I'm gonna ask you about like battle rap later, but I want to ask that now because it kind of fits into where we are with this as far as like atmosphere we're creating, and then like people understanding like sometimes right atmosphere, especially when you're creating like battle raps and you're seeing the best of the best and know the best of the best and so on and write it yourself. How difficult is it to create these battle bars without kind of being isolated? You get what I'm saying? Because you go, from seeing
shit. I mean, everybody got different process, man. And
Word.
and most of that stuff, most of the battle bars that were, they're not freestyle. You know what I'm saying? It's well, people do their homework and research and then put it together. So if it's not like back in the day when we would just pop up and go to wetlands or wherever, and it's like it's a battle with this fucking 50 of us in there, and we all just try to go for a spot. Like we may have walked in together, chilling, whatever. We might have been at the bar getting drinks together, and then next thing you know, they calling us to battle each other. We ain't even, but that's how it was at the time. It's not like that no more. Like especially when it comes to the people that are in the game. We do these real big battles. It's like, yeah, bro, these people know months in advance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I was saying because some of them,
it's like booking a boxing match. It's like if I book, Big K versus Slave Sever or whatever, it's like they know months in advance. They got time to prepare for damn near every situation. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
So it's when you know way ahead of time. That's why, like, I kind of prefer. I mean, there's pros and cons to multiple to the battle to both, like to the older style of battling, and there's pros and cons to each. But that's one of the things that I do think make battles more competitive is the fact that we had time to prepare. I knew I was going to battle you 2 months ago, so when I pull up on you, you better be. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely going to be other than me looking at your outfit and just trying to, and your shirt tight, like nah, nigga. Right. I had to dig and really find something to really break you down. So, so when you have time to prepare, like you got time to train for all situations,
right?
Like,
and then
so like this crowd may be rowdy. I may have to pace it this way. You know what I mean? This crowd pays more attention to the bars. I may have to pace it this way. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're right. Like how I forgot about small room, loud crowd. So your atmosphere creating, you got to consider small room. This bar is gonna land. Big room. This bar land like that.
Right, because if you got a bar to get across, and and it's a room, you in a room with like 30 people, like it's not that difficult to convey a bar to a room with 30 people. Whereas you got 1,000 people in a fucking spot, people in the back, the sound is kind of screwy. Half these people are drunk. Like it's a whole nother environment to try to get that to permeate the people's psyche to even. Oh, he said, she said. Oh, that was. Like it's a whole nother thought process, and you have to prepare for all of that. You know what I mean?
So I got a question because you're really deep into this whole thing. So how difficult is it for you to stand there and when you're watching a battle go on, and something was fire said and nobody reacts, but you the quality of the pen because first of all what it takes to write the bar and the thought process of how hard that bar is, and I'll be watching you stay straight with it. You know what I'm saying? Like
that took time because there's a lot of old battles where my reactions was just there's literally videos on YouTube of just Poison Pit reacting to battles. Like Motherfuckers make memes out of my reactions, you know. But after a while, I hear it so much, you get a little numb. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, man, because I know you sitting there and you know what sound fire, and I'm like, that's why I'm so engulfed in watching it, because I'm like, I don't think people understand like the caliber of writing that's in battle rap. It's like a whole nother library of writing. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed, 100%.
So how long does it take for you to write a verse or a song?
I mean, I've written songs in a half hour. You know what I'm saying? And I've written songs in a half hour, and some songs I had to come back 2, 3, 4 times until I got it right. Usually it doesn't take that much, but but it varies, you know what I mean? And normally for me, like, I like to challenge myself because we come from what we come from. So like I like to especially if I'm with one of my producers that I rock with and have that history with, like a DJ Static or Vanda Slice or something like that. Like I'll just go in and we just go through the zip and pick something right there, and I just get it done right there. You know what I mean? From front to back. You know what I mean? Just write the whole shit and just get it done. I like to do that because it shows me that I still have that I'm still up to a certain quality. You know what I mean? So I do that. But but there's, like I said, but this time sometimes like there'll be a concept, and you want to make sure you get the proper thought across.
Right.
So like I remember when me and Immortal Technique did this song called The Second Amendment years back.
Just was listening to that. I just was listening. I literally
okay.
that's on my phone right now. I'm listening to that, and I'm up here like just nodding my head, going like this with the lyrics and stuff. But yes,
that album was hard too, man. That Money Shot album was hard, bro. Niggas be I do this, man. But like with that, obviously we had the concept, but it's like, especially if I'm dealing with somebody such as Immortal Technique, you got to make sure that especially be speaking, even though it's I'm talking about an amendment of the Constitution. Like, I'm not a political rapper, but we touch on things that affect us all, and that's a strong subject that people are still dealing with to this day. Look at the issues with mass shootings, a lot of gun violence and shit like that. So, but it was that was a serious topic at the time, which as it still is, and so I wanted to make sure that, like, the things that I said, I mean, I always do that anyway, but I had to make more sure because Immortal Technique has like some real diehard fans that are kind of interested at times. Like, I love them because a lot of them support me as well. But like, if I say something factually inaccurate or whatever, they're gonna come and roast me. You feel me? So when it came to that, like, I'm talking about antebellum statutes and things of that nature, I had to make sure that my shit was correct. So, and not because the verse was that complex as far as how the bars were structured, but just as far as the information. Right. So like, I had to take it back and just I make sure, all right, cool. Because I was talking about Condoleezza Rice. I was talking about things that her father had done. You can go look it up online. But I had to make sure that stuff is accurate,
right,
for me to even put it in the verse for it to make sense with my bro. You know what I'm saying? So that took a little more than an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? That took a little bit of time. So it varies, but it doesn't normally take an obscene amount of time. You know what I mean? Because a good amount of my verses is just me talking that notion that shit. So it's like, I do that fairly well.
Yeah, so that's funny because that's why I wanted to get into this storytelling stuff. You get what I'm saying? So like, when you're rhyming, it's like you're very descriptive, and it's like you telling everybody what's going on, and the way you're able to say a line, you're also able to provide character to the line. Like, so that way when you're telling the story, it's almost like walking down the block with you, and you like, yo, this is over here. This, like, you able to like point to stuff like that. And then like you point out, especially like the Second Amendment record, when I'm checking out the Money Shot album and stuff like that, I'm up here like, yo, Penn got like different joints on here like this. It ain't like what you think he just come in with this one angle of that.
Right.
So how important is that to you to make sure you're writing these things to give a picture?
I mean, I always try to give especially if it's a project, try to give a complete picture. Like you said, the money shot. Like, I don't know, people see me and think one thing, and they judge books by their cover. You know what I mean? But it's like I really, or by the company that they keep. So, you know, I know a lot of people know me. Like, so many people know me from different things. There's people that know me from Battlerap, don't know nothing about me rhyming. You know what I'm saying? There's people that know me from, you know, running with Immortal Technique and don't know nothing about Monster. There's people that know my music and don't watch battle rap. So it's you know what I mean? It's well segmented. People judge you people who judge they'll look at me and think because I run with Immortal Technique a lot, or my brother Chino Excel, rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace, Chino.
They'll assume that, or they see me, you know, on tour with like Jedi Mind Tricks. So they'll just assume that that's what I do. Like, I do that type of stuff. And it's like, bro, I mean, I definitely get dirty with my guys, but Poison Pen music is not their music. Like, I do, like, I don't, that their music is their music, and I affiliate with them and we make good music together, but that at the same time, that's their cipher. Like, my music is different. You know what I'm saying? I have a different approach.
You have that street narratives with it, like also like hearing the joint with you, MOP. You got the MOP joint and hearing you're able to come in with that. So I understand what you're saying. I'll tell you the truth. Like, being that we've been friends and we know each other for so long, we don't all get to hear each other music like that. We hear a single more so than an album, right? Like, I might, check me, you hear my single, that sound dope, and we go from there. So this interview was dope for me because I was able to listen to the album and be like, yo, Pin, I ain't hear this. I ain't hear this. So that's what it allowed me to kind of like be able to put the beginning of seeing you and the evolution of now and being like, yo, and then like me hearing the new verse too on the Queen Heroine album, like, yo, you know, Pin has always been dope, but people haven't been able to grasp it totally because it's here and then it's here and then there. You know what I'm saying?
It's wild because I'm like, I be hearing people mention mad people, and I respect, you know, I'm a man of respect, you know what I'm saying? Right. But I be listening to a lot of people that people be like meat licking, and I'm like, son, like, word, like, okay. I just keep quietly cooking, bro. Like, whatever, bro. Like, a lot of art ain't respected until after the fact. And I know, like, I put in a lot of pain in this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's so many in this hip hop realm. I've dabbled in so many different fields. You know what I mean? Like you said, from the battle rap stuff to, like, you know, talking about the storytelling stuff. I'm like, one of my favorite ones is was the joint with Doom, the Bloody Chain. He told an amazing story on that. You know what I'm saying? And it's about vivid depictions. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that story that we told that really got me in a lot of places too. You know what I'm saying? Just on the strength of I mean, you know, Doom became the icon that he is. Rest in peace. You know what I mean? So a lot of people gravitated to me because of that, and that was another story, man. It's a story about him getting robbed. He got robbed for his chain. No, I'm sorry. The record's 20 years old. Bloody Chain. Doom plays the character, the Victor Vaughn character, and he was telling the story about how he robbed somebody for a chain at a dice game, and he gave the girl he gave the chain to his girl as a gift. You know what I mean? And then his girl got stabbed for the same chain. Right? So that was his narrative, you know what I mean? He robbed somebody for a chain of the dice game, gave the chain to his girl, and at the end of his verse, his girl got stabbed for the same chain that he robbed of somebody. Now, my perspective,
that's dope concept.
Right. So my perspective was, and the funny thing is, they just told, and this is what makes it iller. I didn't even hear his whole verse at the time because he was running around. You know, Doom was always a little bugged out, my brother, but he was an interesting character. You know what I'm saying? For real. So I knew the concept, and I just heard like the last piece of the verse, and I'm like, okay. So I was like, all right, well, I don't want to just rhyme. You know what I'm saying? And you painting this narrative about. And he was just like, you know, Doom is interesting. He was like, yo, just go. Like, I'm like, yeah, but nah, we're gonna tie this together for real though. We're gonna make this a. And yeah, so I picked up off the narrative from I'm like, all right, so what if I'm the guy that he robbed for the chain?
Dope.
So what if I'm the guy that he robbed for the chain, and I'm out looking for jokes because I'm down because I got robbed for my chain. Ironically,
yeah.
I see this broad with a chain that looked like mine.
Wow. Yeah.
Got her, and I had to make that a whole story. You know what I mean? So then that's when we get into the descriptive storytelling. Like, so I have to paint a scenario now. Like, okay,
right?
How did this happen? So I get into it. You know, talk about how I was in the club drunk. He was rolling dice. He's, you know, all that shit. But it's just like, you know, when you got a creative mind, man, it's like it's not a difficult task to put a nice narrative together when you have a creative mind and when you've experienced a lot of things, because you know most of the stuff we talk about is things that you know we've been through or you know adjacent to or whatever. Like, you know, we don't really. That's why I never really got like. And that's why, like, I spit my Brooklyn shit, but that's why I never really got like extra gangster on shit. I'm like, bro, I'm like, I get busy, but I'm not. I was never no fucking. That's never what I was out here trying to convey to people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
right.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna talk my shit because everything I say is valid, but I will never go too far off on that end because, you know what I'm saying? Like nah.
It wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary. Right. You know what I'm saying? So what has been like as far as how do you pick your beats?
I mean, if I want to punch somebody in the mouth when I hear it, it's pretty good.
Are you thinking about energy? Because you know you got energy, or are you thinking about sincerity? Like, this joint, I'm trying to get across this emotion.
It depends. It depends on what I'm, you know, what the goal of the song is. If I'm just listening to beats to see what stands out, it's gonna be like, you know, something like, you know, like I'm a fan of like, you know, I guess maybe a little darker production. Like I like shit that hit. I like shit that knock, man. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much my only criteria. I need it to knock. Like everything else, it don't matter. It doesn't have to be all extra boom bappy. It ain't gotta be all trappy or drilly. You know, but my only criteria, I need that shit to knock. That's my only criteria. Like everything else we can figure out. You know what I'm saying? So but yeah, different beats. Like if I have a concept, like I have a concept. We have a song that I was it's funny talk about the writing process. I've had this beat for a long time and I've been trying to piece the proper song together, but so many things happen and I keep starting over. But there's a concept, a song called Fool's Gold, you know what I'm saying? And it pretty much speaks about a lot of things that we're witnessing now, how a lot of people that we grew up looking up to and idolizing have all let us down in some way, shape, or form, whether through scandal or just realizing later on they're just pieces of shit. You know what I'm saying? In a nutshell. So there was a song concept. Right. And so obviously I needed something for that, and I got ecstatic. And obviously I wasn't looking for the fucking meanest fucking, you know what I mean? I wasn't looking for the fucking I wasn't looking for the fucking, I wasn't looking for the fucking street anthem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was looking for, something, a little more subdued, and so I mean, it depends on what
How,
I'm looking for. But
how are you finding your beats today though? Are you online? Because a lot of people have been on the gram now, or
yeah,
people just
there's
stuff.
there's a bunch of guys I follow on the gram. Like I have the same with everybody else. I'm not really on SoundCloud that often, but like as far as I'm on all the other socials. You know what I mean? I mean we all on IG, so there's a, I'll scroll through IG, even if there's
Right.
people who I didn't work with. If I see like people, like colleagues that I rock with, if I see them gravitating towards a page, I'm gonna go over there and check them out too. Same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? And I actually worked with a few people that I discovered on the gram, that I've met on the gram and forged a relationship with on the gram. So yeah, I'm on the gram. I still tell people to send me beats. So people shoot up my, producers shoot up my DMs all the time. I have, relationship with guys that I've been working with for years, so I hit them up like, yo, I need some shit. They'll.
Right.
But I'm always looking for more.
Yeah,
Always. Always.
people ask me that too. They'd be like, "Yo, you looking for?" I'm like, "I'm always looking for beats, man. Like, cause you never know. We're
Always.
trying to find something in there." And then you were talking about this process of where fools go, like starting over this and that. So, what's your revision process like when you're writing the rhymes? You go
Repeat
back.
that?
Yeah. So you were talking about how working on the Fool's Gold record and saying like you kind of been starting over here and there with it and writing. So what's your process with the revision? Like when you write a rhyme, how do you go through it? Do you erase stuff and come back? How do you do that?
Generally, once people have heard it, I've already did the revisions. I mean, but
Okay.
until that point, like when I record something, and honestly, it's the way that I there's a pacing that I use. I have like an internal pacing, and I see like if I'm able to like I'll do a verse or whatever. First I see if it's in a certain pocket that I'm looking for. If it's in a pocket, I'm good. If it's in a certain pocket, because sometimes you're trying to convey certain things. Sometimes there's verses I want you to I just want you to hear me bar out, and sometimes I want you to hear the maybe the way I was saying something made me more important over here. So I look at ways like, all right, cool. First of all, I'm like, can I perform this? Like,
Yo,
yeah,
Penn, hold on. Let me tell you. My next question. Studio versus stage. So yeah, get into that because I've seen you rock. You know what I'm saying? So get into that when you're writing. And can you perform it? Is it just a
yeah,
studio?
like I'm
Yeah.
trying to see. I'm trying to see if I'm comfortable. You know what I mean? If I could get, if it's too cluttered here or there. You know what I mean? And then I'll just work out the kinks from there. But me, I'm a person whose reputation comes more from the stage than from like my recorded works, which is interesting because I have a lot of recorded works, but I'm known more for the events and the performances and the back. I'm known more for being a guy out active, you know what I mean, more than the recorded work. It's like I'm a graph writer. I'm always up somewhere, you know what I mean. I'm just
Yeah.
pens here, pens there, pens there. Like how you get yeah, no doubt. Like that's but right at this moment, I always enjoy performing more. You know what I'm saying? I prefer the stage. I like to, go out there and connect to people, man. I'm a people person. It's funny because I'm not like yeah, I'm a people person, even though I don't like people a lot of the time, but I'm a people I'm it's weird. Well, yeah, like I'm a social, you know what I mean? So I like to connect with people. I like to look people in the eye when I'm spit. I like to see how people react to whatever I'm doing, and the stage is the best way to convey that and get that real feeling. So I prefer the stage to the studio. And sometimes like Like sometimes I go on like writing breaks. Some of them are by choice, and some of them are by like burnout. Like yo, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
talk about
so
because
there's times where I don't write for a little while and then get back to it. But even when I'm in those breaks and hiatuses, I'm always on stage. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm always on stage, and I can, the thing I can go on stage and do something newer, or do something that y'all like from 10, 15 years ago, and you know what I mean, and get that reaction and get that love. So I prefer the stage probably at this moment in time. Yeah.
so what do you do? Do you have like creative blocks and you like, man, I ain't feeling it right now? And you being a businessman, how do you juggle the creative block with the deadlines? How do you judge, balance that?
I mean, I well then that when I'm not in the creative when I'm not having a creative block, I got hard drive full of shit. You know what I'm saying? So even if I need something, I could go in the file and like, yo, boom, here's a track, here's a song, here's a whatever. So I have stockpiled works. You know what I mean? So it's never like, so even when I'm in a creative block or whatever, the public don't really know that because I still have, you know, I still got catalog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of times, yeah, if I have a creative block, man, I'll just try to read more because the more I read, the more I write. You know what I mean? So I'll find something that interests me, so I'll just read something. Well, read something that's interesting, and it'll give me a spark to maybe to be creative myself. Sometimes you just gotta wait it out. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes life happens and shit, man. And, it ain't like back in the day where we used to just like we all look at what you do. Like you're doing more than just writing rhymes all day to prove that you're nice. So where
Right.
before, you may have had, you may have had books and books. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, I got my files, but it's like I'm not sitting here on top of a billion just random whatever's no more. You know what I'm saying? So it's you just gotta. Sometimes you gotta wait it out. Sometimes you gotta just trial and error it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta trial and error, and you might have to write some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe nobody has to hear it, but you might have to write some bullshit. But oh, this shit was trash. All right, let me get some real shit.
Yeah, I like what you're saying. Like, kind of rev yourself up. Like, just a couple of lines. Yo, I do that too. I might be like trying to come up with something that rhyme with something I got, but I got a couple of things that's rhyming, but it's that rev up to, I like when we used to do like the TV show, it's like 8 of us in a room. Whoever come up with the best rhyme, I say a rhyme, and it basically is like the cipher. Remember when we freestyling, you say something, Pen, I'm up here trying to match. And then when it come back to you, you're trying to keep it going with the quality.
Yes.
Yo, some of the rhymes, I might have to come with something terrible just to keep the flow going. I might just have to say anything just to be,
Right.
in school was all right though, flow like nitro, and just pass it to get it.
Yeah.
So it ain't always been perfect, but I like you saying to keep and then when it come back around, now my next 4. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's one thing I do miss about the ciphers was that when you're doing that circle, not every time you came to you had the craziest bars, but you still said something to keep it. All right, wait till it come back to me out right now. Oh, now I'm hyped because what he said. Oh, she said that. That's kind of, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's
Sometimes
true.
you gotta just get it out the system until it's that next. Yeah.
Next wave. So I want to talk about battle rap. You got Team Hami, man, incredible writing, man. You know, the crew in itself is some of the most revered, I like to say, artists, poets, rappers, whatever you want to say. You got Nitty, you got Swave, you got Will, you know, PH, of course, rest in peace to PH. And what do you think would help people maybe start looking at battle rap? Like what's been dope is like watching DNA and K Shine. They do university sometimes. They get ESPN and stuff like that. You got BET Awards. I think like, man, I'm always telling people like the stuff Nitty saying, I'll be like, I don't think people understand the craft of what it takes to write these rhymes, yo. Pen. I'm like,
Nitty an alien, bro. Nitty an alien, son.
So what do you think as far as could probably help people understand the actual literature that it is? You know what I'm saying? Like,
what exactly were you asking?
Oh, I was saying, what do you think could help get maybe some more exposure of understanding that just as dope as rappers are with the bars, yo, y'all are missing out on these battle rappers.
And it's wild because, like, I know for facts because I've been in the studio with a lot of these rappers, and like when these recording artists, when they need a spark, when they're trying to figure something out, what they do, they turn on battle rap. You know what I'm saying? Because like, say if what the recording artist is doing is like NBA, right? Like what the battle rap is doing is like and one. It's like these motherfuckers like, yo, how are you doing this?
Right.
What the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? You know, so because it's like all the bells and whistles and the thought process behind things. It's like, yo, so it's a totally different monster, man. Like
it is.
like I look at you know, the battle rap thing is for the people that still, because there was a time where there was a divide in the industry, and there became a time where like on, you know, even where it didn't really matter if you could actually, you know, rap or not no more and make, you know, music. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that every song had to be the most fucking boundary pushing rap and shit. Like, no, but what I'm saying is just like some effort, some energy. Like I just want to at least know that you put time into your craft. Like a lot of this is gone now. But in the battle rap side, like that's something that never left and is actually revered. Like, no,
right.
we want you to put that Kev into your pen because, like, we were talking about the rooms. Like, you got to impress all these people at this time, and you got to be clever, you got to be funny. Like, you have to do like 10 things at one time to just convey one thing to your opponent, and it's really a different thought process than.
And it's no beat, Pen.
And it's no beat. And
no beat. So that's the crazy part about, like, we talk about, you know, the person that's listening to it also has to have a vested interest in wanting to hear bars. So when you're coming there, you're invested in hearing bars. And right. I just think, like, I love battle rap. When I'm home, I put it on, and you know, it's so wild because I almost can't talk to the average person about like battle rap because it's its own culture, and they're not really understanding like some of them can't jump into it sometimes because the scheming, the wordplay of it sometimes. So I'm like,
sometimes they gotta follow. If you gotta follow the they start going so far into the battle world, you gotta look at the other 8 battles to get the references to what they talk about in this battle. But you got to jump in sometimes. If you got to jump in, you got to jump in. So, you know.
Yeah, because Pen, I'll be having friends, they come over and I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to throw the battles on. And I'm heavy into it. They're not really into it like that, but I'll be like, yo, you never heard this? And I'm hyped. I'm like, yo, he just said, boom, 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 and they kind of like, and I'm like, then I'm up here like also doing the reference of because last battle he had said this, so that bar actually this. So but I do wish and I hope as it goes on that we start really, making sure we're cataloging it as its own little kind of like genre of literature, man, because what dudes are saying is some of the stuff ever written.
Yeah.
We want to talk about poetic devices and poetry, and that's a whole nother genre there, man. But I got one more question for you. So what are like 3 artists or albums, songs from any genre that you would recommend? It could be your songs, your albums. What are 3 that you recommend that people check out? 3, yeah.
3 songs of mine or just in general? I need a little more specificity right now.
Yeah. It could be yours or it could be other artists.
Why the simple questions I be stuck on? 3 artists or albums in any genre that I recommend. Let's see. I'm just gonna name 3 albums. I'm just gonna name 3 albums that I like, man, because I fuck it.
Yeah.
Into the Stage, Black Moon. Victory Lap, Nipsey Hussle.
Love Victory Lap.
Here to Save You All, Chino XL.
Yeah. That's good, man.
Word.
So, man, what's your social media handles and everything that you want to give out to the people to get in touch with you and get these killer features that you be doing and all that?
Listen, I'm out here working, bro. Man. Yeah, Poison Pen BK, man. The socials is Poison Pen BK. Across whatever, IG, TikTok, Twitter, Poison Pen BK. And
yeah. Pen, I want to say thank you, man. I appreciate you. It's so dope watching your evolution. And as we've all known each other for all these years, we get to watch each other through the gram and the Facebook and social media. So it's always dope. We still we feel like we're always in touch. So it never feels like I haven't seen you in a long time.
I just go on the gram, even though we didn't have a convo. It's like, oh, I see what you posted. You good? Like,
yeah. But I appreciate this moment here, man. Like talking to you and just catching up, and also being able to acknowledge how dope you are. Because as friends and us coming up, we so busy trying to come up and make it. Yo, I'm over here down at this. Yo, they got open mic down here. Yo, I'm over here at Pyramid today. Yo, what's going on after Pyramid? We ripping and running trying to become great. And we don't necessarily get to acknowledge how dope our friends are. And that's why I wanted to do this. So I want to acknowledge how dope you are. And I appreciate everything you've done and what you're still doing. And like I said, I'm listening to new verses. You see, I know what's going on with you.
And man, we got a high standard to uphold, man. I'm always try to keep it a certain way, man. You know what I mean?
Man.
I'm gonna update my shit, but I'm gonna keep it a certain way. There's gonna be a certain. I mean, there's a lot of penisms. There's a lot of penisms that have been mimicked for a lot of years out here. You know what I'm saying? Like people. I've heard people say I sound like people that I've been out years before. So shouldn't it be the other way around? And don't nobody rap like me, bro. Like, I'm not saying I'm the best or nothing, but don't nobody rap like me. Maybe somebody's vocal tone may be similar or whatever, but nobody rhyme how I rhyme. And it may be something that you like or something that you don't like. I'm just saying that nobody rhymes how I rhyme. Whether you like it or not, that's something else. But nobody rhyme how I rhyme, bro. That's a fact. Like, I got 20 plus years of fucking work to you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, What else you got coming up next? You got stuff that you can tell us about that you got? Is it music or like is there any battle thing, business stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always doing things behind the scene in the battle
Right.
world. But I don't like making announcements because
Yeah.
that business be wacky sometimes. But
Yeah.
we there's a few announcements to come out soon. I've been doing a lot of like production work, you know what I mean, as far as like, you know, television and shit like that. So I've been over there trying to make some waves and stuff because, you know, we express ourselves in many ways other than just rhyming. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, and you know, and I've always, if you look at the journey, I've always put other people. I've always had a knack for finding talent and putting them, you know, me in places that they needed to be, which is something that I never stopped doing. Like, you know, you mentioned a lot of people, and a lot of these guys were helped along their way due to, you know, things that I've personally done for them. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, for sure.
I continue to do things like that. Like you know what I mean? I be feeling like, what's your man from what's the white nigga from American Idol?
Oh, Simon.
Yeah, bro. Like I found a lot of people. I found a lot of people, bro. Like,
Nah, man, I know because like you said, you know, we've been outside when it was 30 of us outside. So of course, within that journey, you ran into so many people and then making sure people shine. You know what I'm saying? You always, every time I see something, I'm like, there's a quality to what I'm about to watch because I know that you respect the quality of the culture. So that's the thing about seeing you there. And anybody that works with Penn, just know that if you got Poison Penn there, he's able to give you the perspective of the integrity of what people respect for the culture. So if you hire him to do stuff, he's gonna make sure, nah, that ain't the culture. we don't mess with that. And that's why he's so revered amongst his peers, such as myself.
that's love,
You know?
bro. But yeah, man, we got to keep things a certain way, man. We got to be some quality control somewhere out here, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir. So, yo, appreciate you again. Everybody out there, make sure you hit up Poison Pen. Need some features, some direction in your career. He could, you know, consulting, things of that nature. He's
Do
all
all
good.
that.
And like always, what are your words worth? Peace. Sign up now at elevate.miami.edu for my course, Organized Rhyme. Looking at the word legacy, while involving some wordplay, I'll use the first syllable to build upon. We'll use the first syllable, leg. For the second syllable, we'll use an. And for the third syllable, we'll use the word knee. So now we have leg and knee. Can we use it in context with legacy? Let's just see. Wordsworth Productions with a S.com for all merch. I got 2 books available right now. Words Are Worth Volume 1, and I also have a children's book called Socks. Age range from 12 to 15, so it's kind of like the middle school and high school age range, but adults can read it as well. Shout out to our sponsor, the Wizker. If you're into skincare, the Wizker will help prevent razor bumps and make sure you got smooth skin all around. Make sure you order it on Amazon, the Wizker. Make sure you check out wordsworthproductions.com. There you can book me if you want to book me for shows, consultations, panels, and things of that nature. And also it'll give all the upcoming shows that I'll be attending or performing at or appearing at as well. Wordsworthproductions.com. We write plays, books, movies, anything that deals with writing and creativity. Contact us.